Holland's track record this season doesn't give much hope to his rivals. Going 4 for 5 on wins implies the multi-time champion is still in impressive form. But Spa is a different beast. With the slipstream making it hard to shake off chasing cars, will those around him manage to outthink David? We'll find out soon as we get ready to watch round 6 of the PRL Formula 3 series, and you'll see it all live here on the Global Sim Racing channel and the iRacing Esports Network. Hi, I'm Joe Peak, and with me in the booth is Nick Schmeg. Behind the scenes is our director, Sean Crackers Ambrose, and he's using cameras provided by Dougie Beard. Spa is a track that needs little introduction for most race fans, but we're always getting new viewers, and you never know who's just dipping their toes into the racing world. So let's head down to our track guide to learn some more. Welcome to Spa-Francorchamps. Less than an hour's drive east from the German border, this Belgian track has come to define racing for many different eras in the sport. It's no wonder it continues to entrance drivers when you look at the stats. The 7 kilometers over the course of a lap includes more than 330 feet in elevation change as it weaves its way through the Ardennes forest. Packed into this is 19 turns, some of which are considered among the most famous in the world of racing. Corners like La Source and Blanchemont have been on the lips of drivers for decades. But by far the most notorious is Eau Rouge and Rétillon. Typically referred to in name by just the first section, it dips low and swings left, then compresses and climbs to the right up a massive hill. The sequence ends with a completely blind crest that sweeps to the left and leads onto the incredibly long Kemmel Straight. The bravery required to be fast through there will pay off towards one of the most popular passing spots at Lacombe. Eau Rouge is exemplary of the rest of the circuit though. Most of the turns are incredibly fast and many include much of that signature elevation change. As jaw-dropping as the track is, you have to remember that this is the modern truncated layout. The old one, raced until 1979, was 14 kilometers in length, yet carried an average speed of 150 miles per hour. Present-day safety measures do cut down on the danger, but even in recent history, the circuit has proven deadly. It's clear why this track continues to be revered and respected by racers the world round. You can see why this is popular, not just with drivers, but fans as well, with some of the scenic views that you have around here. But Nick, why don't you get into the nitty-gritty about this track for us?
Yeah, we certainly have some great scenic views here in Francorchamps, Belgium. At the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps, a 19-turn circuit, over 7 kilometers on the dot, over 4 miles though. So it's definitely a big track. Everyone knows it in the racing world as a historically iconic and a very fast track. And even for the F3 drivers tonight, it's a very fun track to drive on. However, it's a very difficult track to race on. You have some great passing zones, of course, like the draft on the Kemmel Straight. You have La Source and you have the bus stop chicane, but you have a lot of wake from the car in front of you through the fast sweepers from turns 11 to 18, and you'll need to keep up and be extra consistent to have a shot at making a pass tonight down in those regions. Now, the big thing, Joe, that I'm worried about tonight is incident points. 11 of those gets you a pass-through penalty in this series. And this track, of course, is notorious for its track limits.
Yeah, there's a lot of paved runoff out here, and like you said, fast corners means you're really pushing those limits. So we'll talk about that more in a second. Before we do, let's discuss our sponsors. Ready to compete compete against the financial markets, supporting over 60,000 users across the globe. NinjaTrader provides award-winning trading software and brokerage services. NinjaTrader is always free to use for advanced charting, backtesting, and trade simulation. Visit ninjatrader.com to get started with a risk-free trading simulator and start tracking your performance. Today's broadcast is also proudly sponsored by ButtKicker. ButtKicker products add an incredible immersion and realism to any game. Feel every nuance and truly put yourself in the driver's seat. Check them out at thebuttkicker.com. Now, the championship in the drivers is a bit one-sided, but it's not completely out the window yet as we take a look at that. And 12 points separating Holland and Seitz. Seitz at least has been getting consistent results. He's also been in the top 5 in all 5 rounds we've had thus far. Only 1 win versus Holland's 4. Then look at this down here. A tie between third, fourth, and fifth. So Roy, Cuero, and Hermer. At least one of them is going to come out on top after today. There are some bonus points that we'll talk about in a moment that could leave us with a bit of a tie, but I can't imagine that we'll stay in this position. See which of them manages to claim that coveted third spot. Now, there is a team's championship, and Nick, I believe you have the deets on that.
Yeah, and this is definitely not one-sided. Rust Racing Iron, actually, like I said last week, is Greg Seitz's team, and he, although he sits in second place in the drivers' points, like you said, he sits on top of the team standings. Now, David Holland, who races for Vantage Azzurro, he sits 4 points behind. Now, it was about 5 points difference last week, so he's certainly closed that gap with the help of his teammates. Below that, a bit of disparity between these three: Rust Racing Steel, Lavoie Motorsport, and Punto CL Racing, who, because of Mauricio Cuero, has 5 top 5s this season of the 5 races.
An impressive run there from himself. Now, let's also take a look at today's race and those details. We are in round 6 out of 10. 45-minute race that they'll be holding here today. Not too many laps that you can complete, especially in these F3 cars that will be more about just trying to be ahead at the line with the draft that we talked about before as well. And it is open setup in them. Now, that'll be important, of course, with the downforce. There's not too much that you can do, and everybody's probably going to be trimming that out. But see if anybody tries an alternate setup to find a little bit more speed out here. And there's those incident penalties that we heard from Nick, the stop and go at 11, and an actual disqualification as well at 20. I'm hoping that anybody who gets that 11 incident stop and go penalty will slow things up a little bit to avoid getting DQ'd at the 20. And there's the bonus points that I mentioned as well at the bottom, one of which is underway right now, which is the qualifying for pole position for that bonus point. We'll get to that in just a moment. Before, we want to tell you about the iRacing Esports Network, which you're watching this on right now. Make sure and subscribe to the channel. Very easy to do so. All you got to do is click the big red button that says subscribe. And also, while you're here, consider maybe joining on iRacing. Check them out at iRacing.com, and you too could race in this series. Out in qualifying, David Holland, and second place, Greg Seitz there. So there's your front two. No surprises really going on. Clenard and Soroy also in the top 4. So it's looking a little bit predictable after the first laps across.
Yeah, it certainly is. And Spa's always a track where sometimes, because of the draft, some drivers who are usually in the lower part of the top 10, or maybe somewhere in the top 20, mid-pack drivers, sometimes Spa's qualifying can sometimes boost some of those drivers up in the top 10. I don't really see anyone. This is a very similar scoring pylon that we see to the left of the screen, very similar to the point standings that you just went over.
Indeed, we're watching Barnett, who comes across. Let's see. Nope, he's not going to improve. He's on a slow lap here. Again, if you haven't watched F1 race here before, remember that timing line comes early. Seitz is crossing. Let's see if he can improve less than a 10th. He does. He's going to go to pole, but where's Holland? Holland is coming across now. Can he improve? No, he's actually coming into pit lane. So he's going to have to get out soon. Since it takes so long to get a lap going, I wonder if he's going to have much time to do much up against Greg Seitz's pole.
Yeah, this might be a very good opportunity for Greg Seitz. Now, of course, we said that last week at Road Atlanta as well.
See Raymond Day crossing, and his most recent lap looks like that's not going to count, so he's going to stay in 10th position. McLaughlin improves. I don't think he improved his position, though, at 2:13.3, and he's still in 22nd spot. What about Hebert here as he comes through the bus stop chicane? Number 16 down and across the line to see if he can go faster than a 15.5. He does, half a second faster. And that is actually, well, once again, a driver not improving, still in 24th, way down the order for the 16 car.
It's Matt Quinn.
Yep, that's definitely an improvement for him from a 225 to a 213. I think that 225 was an outlap for him. Bacigalupo, 212 is actually pretty decent. That's good enough for a top 10. He's an 8th, and 211.8, 2/10 quicker. Up to 6 for the number 84 machine now. And about 4.5 minutes left to go. We've come back to Barnett now, seeing if he can get off the final spot. He still has 3 cars that have not qualified behind him: Palovich, Gore, and Gunderson. I'm checking to see if any of those 3 are actually here, and it looks like they are in the session. Just not sure why Gore is the only one of those 3 who is currently out. Maybe the other's worried about the start here. Oh, way deep into the corner, and Barnett keeps it on the track. The lap will at least count, but it's not going to be a fast one. Looks like he must have had an off track elsewhere, unfortunately. So is Seitz out still running? He is. Actually, Seitz is just about to finish his lap. See if the pole sitter can extend it farther ahead of Holland. He's only got 700ths currently, and considering the lap time around here plus 2 minutes, that's not a very big margin at all. Go faster than the 2:10.8. No, that one didn't count. Holland is still in pit lane. If he does not leave soon, he will not be able to start a lap. Could be that he's just content here, Nick, because we keep talking about the drafting around here. Wonder if maybe he knows as long as he keeps touch, he really doesn't have to be on the pole.
Yeah, he could be. He might even have the lead after the first lap because of that draft if Greg Seitz isn't too quick to pull away on the Kemmel Straight. Pretty rare that we see someone break away from the pack here in the first lap.
That's true, too. I didn't even think about that. It could be trying to position himself when he saw him take that spot. Matt Quinn, the New Yorker's down in 22nd. There's a 2:13 flat for him last time, and it's a 2:12.7, 0.3 quicker. That'll put him into 19th at least. Don Lee behind him in the 71. It's only put 1 time down. That's going to be a non-lap for the 71 car.
Lucas Bacigalupo next after that. Looks like he's warming up his tires just a little bit here. He might be getting ready for one more flyer. He sits 9th place right now.
Yeah, this is his 3rd straight lap, I'm pretty sure, unless he came in a pit lane when we weren't looking. No, it looks like it is a little bit slow, so I'm not sure what exactly happened here. Let's see if his time counts, or it doesn't count, so maybe it was an out lap for him. Barnett once again. He's in 26 now since Tyler Gore's gotten a time in. His 2nd timed lap going to be a 2:15 flat. That'll actually jump him up to 25th now. Checking to see, let's see, Soroy just crossed the line, and he had a off track somewhere along there, so he's on his final lap right now, actually. Tyler Gore, we see with 1 time on the board. Does he put a 2nd one? No, he does not. So he'll get 1 last shot at it. Seitz coming up to the line, and he's ahead of Kranefoos, who is his teammate. Maybe giving him a little bit of a tow. Non-lap there for Seitz. I thought I saw him slow earlier, so I think maybe he was just also preparing the car. We're going to see if we have any of our front runners coming towards the line now. 40 seconds left to go. Thurman starts 1 more lap, so does Ponick. Ponick seems to be on a slow one himself. Don Lee, who's up to 15th, out of Blanchimont, down to the braking for the bus stop. He's got to make up 6 1,000ths to get 14th away from Verity ahead of him on the grid, so it doesn't have to be that much quicker. Oh, and he doesn't like the lap. That's going to end his qualifying. He comes to a halt. That means Bacigalupo is going to be our first one to take the checkered flag. He has been shoved down into 10th position recently. A couple drivers have managed to improve enough to shuffle him backwards. Let's see what he's got. Hits the binders 1 last time here in qualifying. Nice and tidy to the first apex, but he's done with a lap as he takes it into pit lane. That's going to be it. Barnett's going to be the next one. He still sits in P25. 2:15 flat is his best. 2:14.7.
But
Nice
not enough.
improvement. Looks like Soroy comes in, so he's going to settle for 4th place. Legault up to 6th place. 4/10 faster that time by. Raymond Day, he's just outside of the top 10. Number 77. Let's see what he's got. Not too many cars left after this, with their 2 minutes counting down until the final flying lap can no longer count. This one's quicker for Day. Is that going to get him into the top 10? No, just 11th for him. Rain Foos faster, but stays 17th. Looks like Brett Thurman going to be the next one as we watch Ponick now. Ponick's in 13th. Thurman is in P16. Thurman does not go faster. Ponick, let's see what he's got. 2:12.2. That's going to be a 10th shy of his best lap. That is everybody. So, I believe Barnett crossed the line after the checkered flag, if I'm not mistaken. Did he not?
I think he did, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's done. So that's going to settle our grid here. Let's go through that starting order for today, round 6. Greg Seitz with another bonus point. Could that help him in the championship? Can he finally close in on the man beside him, on the grid? David Holland starting 2nd. Rod Clenard coming back with a great 3rd place, and David Soroy, in P4. David McDonald starts in P5 with Olivier Legault in 6th position. Then Sam Hermer, one of our drivers tied for that top 5 spot, that 3rd position. He'll start 7th. Mitchell Green will be starting in 8th. And you've got Mauricio Cuero in 9th place, and Alex Gaillon will start in 10th.
Row 6 is going to be made up of Raymond Day and Lucas Bacigalupo. The Baker's Dozen position is going to go to Mark Ponick, with Stephen Verity and Don Lee rounding out your top 15. Brett Thurman, Daniel Cranfus, and Sebastian Pruitt will follow them 16th, 17th, and 18th, and then 19th and 20th will be rounded out by Matt Quinn and Christopher Richards.
Lauren Sebastian, P21 for him today, and Sheldon Rosenbaum in the 22nd spot. Then you've got Will McLaughlin starting P23. Andy Spicer was able to get it up to 24th with Daniel Barnett in the 25th position. David A. Bear unfortunately pushed down to 26th, and Tyler Gore is the last one with a time at 27th. Gunderson and Palovich will start at the back of the field. I see them both in the session. Hopefully they should start this race today as we now grid up on the front stretch. This is the Grand Prix layout, so they will start as F1 does down into La Source. That can cause lots of drama. Cars can find themselves very quickly wrecked through that corner, even if it isn't their fault. So they will have to keep heads up and maybe have to play it a little bit safe if they want to at least get through turn 1. Just waiting on another few to line up out on that grid now for round 6. Again, with those 12 points difference between Seitz and Holland, you have to remember that Holland has won 4 out of those first 5 and is looking very, very strong, even at tracks like last week in which Seitz predicted he could have a good race because he likes that track. So how are things going to fare here? I think just about 5 or 6 more drivers that need to be out there on the main straight, the pit straight, down into the hairpin. Then they will wheel it towards Eau Rouge, up and over the crest in the very, very long, Kemmel Straight, which, as we mentioned, will open things up for the slipstream battles. Barnett, Seitz. I see Gunderson is not lined up quite yet. In fact, our pole sitter is Seitz, so waiting for him to try and make his way to the grid. That'll be a travesty if he doesn't get out there in time. There we go. Now he is on our starting grid. Looks like Gunderson might be starting from pit lane here. He is the last one to go. Hopefully he will be able to start this race. Not seeing him line up, and the time is running out. In fact, it is over. So the engines start to rev as the lights come up here for round 6. Green flag is out. Off the line, it looks like a decent start for Seitz. Doesn't cover off Holland, goes to the racing line instead. Behind them, a battle for third place is Serrois and Clenard are trying to sort that out, and Clenard's going to get the third. Is it safe through La Source? It looks good.
Everyone looks good. A couple of 2 wide battles, though, still going to be raging as they go up Eau Rouge. Now, Greg Seitz has a hefty lead, but it's going to shrink because David Holland's going to have a toe on him, and Clenard is going to have a toe on Holland.
Starting to gain up the Kemmel Straight. Gaining quite a bit, in fact. And though he was covered off at first, now he comes back to the racing line, so Seitz feels good enough that he can hold him back for now. This can also cause some chaos as drivers cycle into Lacombe, but looks like all the side-by-side battles are going to come out clean.
Yeah, everyone looks good so far, even in the back of the field. I haven't even seen anyone go off track yet.
Great job by everybody. Saw some fanning out back there in the mid-pack as they headed down into Rivage, but nobody was able to make an overtake amongst them. So your order for the top 5 for now as they swing it through Pouhon is Seitz, Holland, Clenard, Serrois, and McDonald, all basically in a line. McDonald might be under threat, though, because Cuero is all over that rear wing. And look at him, stay to the inside, takes a dive into there. McDonald doesn't defend. Into Fanyes, it looks like Cuero's going to have it.
Cuero made up a couple of spots on the Kemmel Straight. He actually started back in 9th, and he's already up there.
Good bit of gain there from the 79. Donald might lose another one because he's a little slow coming off of Stavilo, and now it's Legault in the 88 who is behind him. Starts to put pressure on. They're going to have to fly through Blanchimont. Very fast left-hander, and then he could maybe try something into the bus stop. 4 of them all together. No, it's going to be McDonald going on the attack, back on Cuero. Cuero holds him off to the inside. Through the bus stop, we got a big wreck behind them. 4 cars involved here.
And it's continuing to go.
Oh, yeah, and I think looks like Raymond Day in a separate incident there as well that's collected a few more cars.
Alex Gaillan involved in that as well, yeah.
Let's take a look at the replay. The first bit of contact is between Bacigalupo and Verity, who have big, big hits. And then, go ahead.
Bacigalupo was on the outside, and I think he was... It's so hard to tell. So many cars clustered together there. There you see. Some major contact, and then they all pile in.
Yeah, a few more pile into that one. And then a separate incident with Green and Gaillan. Yeah, they go 3 wide, and Gaillan gets tipped around, and he's unfortunately going to take Day with him. Here's the second one.
Oh, Green was trying to avoid the first accident, came back on the track and clipped Gaillan. And unfortunately, Raymond Day piled in.
They managed to avoid all the mess and some of the early difficult corners, and then it's the last one that winds up catching them all out. That hasn't changed much at the top. As we watch this battle on screen, this is Day overtaking Verity, it looks like. Both of them going way off course, though, through Pouhon. Wonder if they're suffering from some damage. Tyler Gore's going to take advantage of that. The number 7 up to 18th. He's not able to get by Day, though.
Yeah, I think some of these cars are. I saw Stephen Verity do the exact same thing behind him.
See Don Lee in pit lane, Andy Spicer as well. Bacigalupo has retired. Gunderson looks like he never started the race, sadly. Boy, this isn't over, though. Here's Day, still a sitting duck, lacking straight line speed as Tyler Gore goes the long way around, but he's not done. Are they going to go side by side through Blanchimont? They're going to try. Gore's going to go off track to try and save the car, but it'll give him a position.
Let's see if Raymond Day... No, Raymond Day's going to stay on track here. Thought he might head to the pits.
I wonder if he's trying to wait until the pit window opens here.
Verity went to the pits behind him.
30, of course, involved in that incident as well. So definitely, I suspect some damage repairs as we continue to watch this battle come down towards Eau Rouge. We're going to fan out Tyler Gore once again, side by side into a very fast and scary corner. He thinks twice about it this time. Let's Raymond Day by. Oh, and that's Richards at the side of the road. Something happened to Christopher Richards. We'll get to that in a second as we watch this battle on screen. It was contact, I can tell you, with the number 49 car. Or to the outside, down into Lacombe, trying to outbrake him. And it's just not going to be there. So let's take a look at the replay. He's going to be followed by Quinn. That's Quinn right behind him in the 007.
Yeah, I think Quinn was just trying to tuck in behind him, and he just had so much speed, and it was too late to pull out of line.
Watch from Quinn's perspective. Yeah, he misjudged it. Nothing malicious there, just unfortunate that it ended another driver's race. Now, as all this has been happening, Holland has gotten in the lead over Sight. I'm not sure if we got a replay on it, but let's see if we can dig that up. They've not dropped anybody, essentially. Clenard's still with them. Serrois is still close behind, and there's a bit of a gap to Cuero. It's about a second. He could still get back into things. Looks like we do not have the replay. Apologies for that. We got so caught up in the action happening down on track, we had missed that the slipstream battle had changed that top spot.
Rod Clenard in third place looks awfully racy. He's been peeking to the inside of Greg Seitz a couple times. And he's certainly a lot closer to Seitz than Seitz is to Holland.
Yeah, and that makes me wonder if Clenard's just kind of waiting and seeing if Holland starts to stretch away, maybe Rod will go on the attack, and this would be a good spot to do it right here. He's given just enough of a car's width to the inside. He's going to move up into P2. Now is Seitz going to try and fight back? Nope. He gives a little bit of a lift. He lets him into the racing line. That actually closed the gap mildly to Holland.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if Rod Clenard can catch David Holland.
I suspect it's more to do with that leapfrog that they did. He got an extra boost to speed. If they keep doing that, that could help them out quite well. So with all this going on, let's see if we've had any other big movers. Looks like both Brett Thurman and Matt Quinn have done a great job in this race, because they're up from 16th and 19th respectively, and they're right now in looks like 10th and 12th. They're splitting Cranefoos.
Yeah, that lap one incident we saw in the chicane, I think, really helped those guys. Other than that, they also had to pass a couple of other drivers on the first lap, but that first accident took out about 4 or 5 drivers. Of course, most of those drivers still in the race, it looks like, just sent them to the back of the field.
Yeah, Bacigalupo, Richards, and Spicer are the only ones it looks like are out of it. Now, let's go back to Seitz, because he's under attack yet again, and this time it's Serrois. Is he going to put him down yet another position? No, he's going to wait patiently as they break for the bus stop chicane. This has made our top 5 actually relatively close here.
Yeah, so this is interesting, because he's not going to be able to keep leapfrogging with Rod Clenard if he's back there battling with David Serrois. And then Mauricio Cuero, you really saw there through the source, gained a ton on David Serrois.
Right on board with Seitz now. I'm not sure what's going on. If this is strategic, if he's doing this intentionally, or if he's actually lacking pace. Don't need to go to it, but Pavlovich had a spin farther down. For fans of him, unfortunately, he's lost time and positions. So Watt to the inside. Again, no defense from Seitz. And can he keep it tucked in? Yes, beautiful job there. Textbook maneuver for the number 19 to get him onto the podium positions. Now, in the meantime, Raymond Day has said enough with the damage. It might be within the pit window, I think, here. He could actually still do this on one stop. He's just very early. You see him taking his repairs, and it's a long one for him, so definitely getting that car banged on. Roberto still on sights. Is he going to let himself fall all the way from the pole to fifth here? He's already 2.5 seconds behind Holland, who is pulling away. It's 1.1 seconds ahead of Clenard at this time.
Yeah, Clenard's not going to be able to catch him, I don't think, at this pace. He really had help back when Seitz was drafting with him, like we saw a couple laps ago, but he doesn't have that now.
Board with Mauricio. Coming up to Blanchemont, and he's very close behind him. If he can withstand the wake here, and he does. This time we get a defensive move from Seitz. He's had enough of this. He's going to give him just a card's width, but it's too late into the corner, braking very heavily and very late, blowing it. Mauricio Cueto falls back to fifth.
And both of those drivers, it looked like, suffered off tracks during that exchange, and they didn't even change position. They've got to be careful.
Let's see, did Raymond Day get back out on the track? Yes, he did. So it's about a 30-second stop for the 77, and he's back going once again. He is in 22nd position. Watch these top five continue to battle. We're going to look at the front of them, because there's David Holland leading the way. Number 18 on your screen has been almost impeccable this season.
Pretty much pulling away or managing a nice gap of about a second right now.
I think we got a change of position between Ponik and Prue potentially. Looks like not quite. There was an attack, but Ponik down in 14th was not able to get it. What should have been getting it back, I'm hearing, as he's lost it earlier in the lap, or potentially last lap.
Ponik certainly looks like he's making a couple of stabs at it. Just can't. This is not the right place of the track, I don't think, to get a pass done.
Oh, absolutely not. Yeah, this is tough to try and overtake through here. We're on board with Ponik right now. The car ahead you see is Prue and the black and orange machine. Not much separating the two of them. And you want the slipstream. You want those easy overtakes at this track. And I wonder if Mark maybe waiting until he gets out of Stavelo. This is one of the faster portions of the track, way off. Prue knows he's got to get on that throttle early, and he's going to sacrifice one of those incident points to do it. It might just work out, though, because he is well ahead of that 34 car.
Yeah, that might have just snapped the slipstream between the two. We'll see if Ponik can gain anything here through the bus stop. Might be able to outbrake him a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think he was able to do much from it. So, smart move there by Prue. Now, again, he can't do that too many times. You've only got 11 of those incident points. And that's assuming that he doesn't have any spins or car contacts, too. Going back to Seitz, who's still holding on to fourth, but just. Let's see if he survives this time along the Kimmel Straight.
They're already side by side. Guerrero's got a little bit of slipstream from Serrois in front of him as well. That's going to help him try to hold the outside. He's going to be able to do it.
That'll get it done. So Mauricio Cueto is now up into fourth, and our pole sitter somehow just slipping backwards and backwards. Not sure if it's the setup, if he just doesn't seem like he likes this track very much, but this is very strange for Greg, who has been racking up second places this season. Let's jump a little bit behind them, because it looks like Legault, Hermer, and McDonald are in a nice little three-way fight.
Legault kind of, or Sam Hermer rather, sandwiched right in the middle. Legault trying to gain in on him.
Yeah, this has got to be nerve-wracking for Hermer. Not only does he want to try and stay close and attack on the car ahead, but he's got to play defense at the same time. Eyes everywhere for that number 11 car. He's going to give a nice tow to Legault. They come up to Blanchimont. Legault driving the red, white, and black machine. The iridescent blue belonging to Hermer. Right there, though.
Yeah, they're trying to outbrake each other. Just can't quite get there.
This is one of our closest fights right now.
Yeah, someone who did really gain there through the bus stop chicane was Greg Seitz right in front of this battle. He really did close that gap to Mauricio Cuero after he got around him. I think that might just be opening up again.
He could try and re-attack him. It depends on how feisty he's feeling. Right on board with Cuero right now. That's Sirwa up in front of him. We want to see behind because Greg Seitz is gaining a lot. He's going to pull to the outside. This is almost a perfect mirror of what we saw before, except Seitz gets well ahead of him before. The braking makes it look absolutely easy. A little bit of a look to the inside from Cuero, but the Chilean driver just doesn't have enough in it.
Yeah, he took a peek. He wanted to see if it was possible. Takes another one there.
Dropped off at the nose. Down into Rivage. Certainly giving Greg something to think about.
Yeah, continuing to put a lot of pressure on him. Greg Seitz just had a terrible start to this race.
This is not the way he wants this second half to start off. And again, unless he's doing something sneaky here, if his car is in fuel save mode or if he's trying to save tires. There are a lot of very sustained corners, fast sustained corners here. I wonder if the tires are a concern for some drivers.
I wonder what kind of, if he had any difference in his qualifying lap that we just missed, like a big slipstream or setup change.
Could be setup. Could it be that it's not as good in the long run? Because you certainly want to trim that thing out before the qualifying here. As they come down towards the bus stop once more. What's he going to do? He's going to hold the inside. Cuero looking to try and outbrake him. He's blown this corner before, and he sends it in very deep. They're going to stay side by side as it switches back with the inside going to Mauricio, but he doesn't get the run off of it. Better traction for the number 74, and he manages to keep him from overlapping and actually comes back to the racing line. They had an incident behind. It looks like Mitchell Green out of the bus stop chicane has looped it. Take a quick look at this.
A lot of times this is a place where they just get too hard on the throttle. He might have had a little bit of off track. No, it looks like he was sliding before he went over the curbs. Right there, he'll start to begin sliding.
And that AstroTurf certainly did not help.
Yeah.
If we come back live, Mauricio is at it once again, but this time he's going to have it. And he's going to be by Seitz. Change of position behind them as well. Kranefuss up to 9th, past Brett Thurman this time. That's from 17th position for Daniel Kranefuss.
Yeah, Kranefuss, haven't really been seeing him involved in battles. We saw Thurman a while ago with Legault, but Thurman has fallen back significantly, and Kranefuss did a great job catching him.
Getting close to halfway now in this 45-minute race. So I wonder if any of these drivers who are battling a lot in these slipstream fights will try and duck away and shake their rival by setting some fast laps. Do watch Thurman and Kranefuss on screen.
So hard to stay hooked up with another car here through the slipstream because you have so much weight through these fast sweepers.
Yeah, those big wings certainly disrupt things. And he's sticking with him. It's about 3/10 between the two of them. That's Thurman in the green and white that you see, and the blue car, that's Daniel Cranefoos. He's going to be plenty safe by the time they come down for the final corner. See if either of them decides to pit this time. No. Everybody content where they are.
In front of these drivers, Sam Hermer on that last lap was able to reel in the battle between Greg Seitz and Cuero. He is right there with them as they are about to head up Eau Rouge. And Hermer, of course, teammates with Seitz.
So how nice is he going to play? Looks like Seitz might actually have a chance. Once again, we're going to play leapfrog. Up the long hill and into the braking of Lecum. Cuero, that one almost looked cooperative this time.
Yeah, I think he definitely wanted to stay there on that inside line, but I think he knew better to get back in line because you don't want to lose a position to Sam Hermer and then have two teammates right in front of you.
That's true. So just having to play defense instead of going hard at it and trying to take the position right back. His fighting style so far into this race has really been to just try and get it right back immediately. Patience pays off in some cases here.
I don't think it's going to be long if they keep battling like this until David McDonald joins the picture as well.
He's about 1.1 seconds back. Yeah, that is pretty close.
He's got a great view of him.
Watch this trio out and around Stavelo. Onto the back stretch, heading up towards Blanchimont. I think Cuero got a bit of a decent run here. Wonder if he'll try and attack on Seitz.
Yeah, the big gap opened up between Cuero and Hermer there. Cuero's got the momentum.
But not the gumption. He's going to stay right behind him. Ooh, a little bit of a lockup from one of them. I couldn't tell which that was. That actually hurt the exit of Mauricio. Here comes Sam Hermer now. About a car length and a half behind. Right on board with Samuel.
Yeah, I think that was Cuero that locked it up there in the bus stop. Now we'll see if he can counterattack as they go back up the hill. He's got Hermer to worry about in his mirrors, but he's got Greg Seitz in front of him.
We got our first scheduled stop with Thurman coming in, and Hanukkah's going to join him. Let's stay with this. He's going to squeeze together. Cuero gaining on Seitz. Hermer gaining on Cuero. Seitz going to defend. Up into Lecum. Not quite the overlap that Cuero wanted. So he's just going to stay right in the tire tracks of that number 74.
Cuero gets really close through this turn, I've been noticing.
Definitely good on the brakes. Maybe a little too good
Yeah.
for his own well-being sometimes.
Yeah, I hope that doesn't backfire on him later in this race.
Boy, they are really pushing the limits through Pouon.
Oh, yeah.
Getting close to those off tracks.
A couple of these sweepers, they all kind of take different lines through. Trying to gain on one another, and it just all kind of stalls out in the end.
It's got to be frustrating for the three inside the cockpit. And then Cuero has tried this one before with mixed results. This one looks a lot closer, though, coming out of the Stavelo corner. Right on board with Seitz. Cuero is now right up behind him. There we see. That's the number 79. Oh, late dive as he leaves the door open. And Seitz is going to let him through. Oh, that takes him into pit lane, though. So does Serrois. Maybe not an attack so much as just trying to make sure he had the desired side of the track.
I think he wanted to have the entrance open for him.
And this is what I was wondering, Nick, if we would see. If drivers who are in a battle like that said, well, I could probably be faster alone and like to take a little bit of a different strategy.
Oh, it's like you mentioned, it's so frustrating to have such good runs and you kind of stall out when it's all said and done.
Wow.
I would definitely take a pit stop.
Look at how much quicker he got out of his pit stall than Sirwa did. I'm not sure if that was just good entry or what, because it's only 4/10 faster for
Yeah.
Mauricio. That's a lot of time gained.
And Sam Hermer's been able to jump Greg Seitz in the Kemmel Straight as well.
So I guess team tactics go out the window as soon as you take that third car out of the equation. I can report that Cuero did go by Sirwa on the Kemmel Straight. There you saw it on screen. Behind them, that is Rosenbaum. He's yet to pit. Wonder if we'll see anybody make a response to some of those front runners coming in. We've also had Thurman, Green, Quinn, Prue, Pawnick, Verity, McLaughlin. They've all taken scheduled stops.
Curious to see what our leader does, David Holland. He's got a lot of options here, it seems.
Oh yeah, it is wide open for him. Another note on those pit stops, Ponick and Verity, I believe, are the only two that have taken tires. Everybody else is fuel only. Holland is in.
Goes in. Clenard is going to follow. Hermer and Seitz as well to come in together. David McDonald, a late lunge to pit road. I think this is going to be everyone. Here comes Olivier Legault.
That looks like a very small pit window.
Yeah. Cranefoos.
And then
That's-
up
that
next,
leaves
yeah, is
Cuero.
the first of our drivers who have already pitted. And he's gained one position in that, coming out of the pits, past David. Holland, we're waiting to go. Holland gets going just as Seitz went into his stall. And this is going to be well clear, so David returns to the lead.
And Cuero's going to come out, or Rod Clenard is going to be right in front of Cuero. Cuero's going to get around Clenard.
Wow. That was a phenomenal jump in the pit site for
Huge.
Mauricio Cuero.
Left one battle and joined another.
That other battle is erupting now with Clenard going to the outside, up into Lacombe. He's going to have to fight for it, keeping his nose in, and he's given space, but he can't quite muscle his way past, so that's going to allow Clenard back into second.
Cuero's going to peek underneath here, and he's going to have room. Rod Clenard has to go very wide here.
Way too wide, a little too generous from the 027.
I'm surprised David Sirwa wasn't able to take advantage of that.
Absolutely. It's very lucky that Clenard was able to keep it not only on track, but just lose a single position. That'll slot him into third. You know, where is Seitz on all this? Oh my goodness, Seitz is just having a miserable day.
He had a bad pit stop. He comes out far behind his teammate Sam Hermer. So they're not even going to be able to draft together. In fact, Seitz is closer to David McDonald, who is behind him, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's able to become a threat here soon to that position.
The points loss from this finish is going to be crushing. Just utterly crushing, unfortunately.
And you know what else I'll say about the points is this is going to be a crushing day for the teams championship for Rust Racing Iron between Hermer and Seitz, because David Holland and Rod Clenard are having a fantastic day. Clenard sits 13th in the driver's standings, but he's teammates with David Holland and Vantage Azuro. This is going to be a great day for them. And they're only 4 points behind coming into this race.
I have to imagine there was a little bit of a setup exchange going on there to help him find some more speed. But, I mean, to be fair, Rod has always been pretty fast. This is a great showing. Going to rack up another podium. It won't be his first. I don't think it'll be his last. The question is what spot on the podium if he gets it, because with a run on Cuero, he's going to get back in his second now.
Gonna go defensive.
Oh, but then he comes back to the
Yeah.
racing line and leaves the door open. And we've seen from Cuero, he's going to take any opportunity. Almost gets the overlap. Does get the overlap coming through Malmedy. What a move around the outside of that final apex, but it's another right-hander. The wrong side. Oh, and they come together. They're going to tangle. One goes into the wall. One loses a position. And Sirwa is now smiling as he regains second place.
That is the last thing they needed, especially Mauricio Cuero, who was so fast today. They just make slight contact, and that's enough to get him almost up in the air.
Yeah. Oh, boy, disappointing sight there for Cuero. I don't think he did anything wrong. He actually gave plenty of space. It looked like understeer.
Yeah. It's such a hard turn to be side by side.
Rod could only do so much. Now, he is limping at this point. His car is very, very slow. There you see is a DNF for Cuero. It looks like he had to take a tow. So Hermer now moves up into third, and Seitz, who's passed them both, is back into P4. That saves him at least some of the hurt from the points. But here's what's interesting is with Clenard having those issues, with Hermer being Greg's teammate, like you were saying, I wonder if that means Teams Championship is going to look very bright and shiny for these two.
Yeah, a day that was about to be crushing might have just gotten a lot better. Raymond Day, actually, is another one of those drivers that is with Vantage of Zero. In fact, he's higher in the points than Rod Clenard. And he, of course, had a terrible start to the day.
Ooh, yeah, this is going to be a bizarre one in terms of the differences between Team Championship and Drivers Championship. Now, a little bit farther down, Tyler Gore is leading a couple cars. We've watched them before, Green and McLaughlin. This is fighting for 14th place.
And this is Blown Tranny Racing, a bit of a sandwich that Mitchell Green is in. Teammates Tyler Gore and Owen McLaughlin.
Green's going to go around the outside. Gore defending down into La Source. Very shallow exit, and that means a little bit of an advantage will go to Green. His nose starts to peek ahead, and I think he's got it into Eau Rouge. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, but I think Tyler Gore is going to be able to have a big run on him here. He's fallen away a little bit now, but just wait. He's going to get the slipstream. Is he going to be able to outbrake him? He's going to be a lot further away than I expected.
Yeah, that was quite a run there from the number 27. You know, it just hit me as I watched Clenard lose another spot. Legault just got by him. This could not have been worse timing because his pit stop is done. He can't come in for repairs without losing a whole lot more time.
Yeah.
And I wonder if he's just trying to see if this car can make it home from here.
I mean, you might as well. I mean, you're going to lose positions if you... Definitely not in good shape. He's going to lose a bunch of positions, and I think when it does get unbearable and when it just becomes not worth it, I think he will pull it in, but... Clenard, of course, trying to answer his season best. 5th place last week. Don't think it's going to happen.
No. Let's see, he's got actually about a minute 45 to the last car on the lead lap, which is Don Lee right now. Which, with 11 minutes left, is not impossible that he could lose that much. He's going to lose another one to Cranefoos, who comes up behind him now. Should be easy pickings, especially on his fast run down to Eau Rouge.
You're right on board with Rod Clenard. He is really struggling. You got to take a look at the steering wheel.
Yeah.
He is dealing with. That's got to be terrifying through Eau Rouge. And a big slide there.
Oh, he holds it together. The last thing Cranefoos wants is a car spinning in front of him over that crest.
Props to Clenard for still trying to get some slipstream here from Cranefoos in front of him.
Got to do what you can. What was that Teddy Roosevelt quote? Use what you can, do what you can with what you have where you are. Something to that effect.
That's what Sam Hermer just did. He just got around David Sirwa for 2nd place. and Greg Seitz has caught them both.
Let's take a look at that one. Just set him up. He knows how the game is played here. Ooh, bit of weaving, though. That got a little frisky.
Yeah, a little more aggressive. I think there was a little bit of hesitation from both of them there, too, as to whether to keep defending or not.
Poor Raymond Day has to take his second stop. It was, in fact, too early for his first one. So he's got to get fuel to make it to the end. That means I think he's going to be sent down potentially into last on the field. Oh, he's actually, no, he's in for a long time. Is he getting more repairs or what? Checking to see if he had another incident. Not seeing anything.
He may have hit 11 if he had a couple off tracks.
You know, that's true as well.
I think he got a couple of, he at least got a 4X, we know, of course, and I wouldn't be surprised if he got another couple off tracks on that lap, and maybe even 2.
That'll certainly add insult to injury. So we come back to this battle for P2. And if you're a Hermer, do you try to help Greg Seitz as well? Do you maybe try to back Sirois up into him?
Yeah, they've got less than 9 minutes.
He's got a very good run. Right just over his shoulder. A duck to the inside. And the 74 makes it look easy, though he almost pulls right back in front of Sirois. Thankfully does not run into him in the process. Oh, Clenard's thrown in the towel. He is in pit lane. Car cannot continue as it was.
Just a string of bad luck, it seems, for him this season. Had a nice bright spot last week at Road Atlanta with the top 5. Other than that, just a rough start to the year.
Well, let's contrast that. Let's put the cameras on a man who's had lots of good luck. Of course, Roger Penske says the harder you work, the luckier you get. So David Holland must be a pretty hard worker as he comes out of Stavelo here. It's currently 7 seconds ahead of Sam Hermer. He's not been challenged. In fact, he hasn't given up the lead at any point in this race.
He has been very dominant, not just today, but all season long, like you said. And we wondered if it was strategic for him to start second. I don't think he needed it. I think he was going to get to the top spot one way or another.
Think about the only thing it's going to deny him is the Grand Slam. Lead every lap. Now, does he have fastest lap? I'm actually curious. He does not. I see a 2:11.3 for Seitz. And I think that is the quickest on the board. That's the bonus points for Seitz, and actually he ups it to 2:11.357 now. Probably wondering if he could find that pace consistently, at least, across the race and try and catch up to Holland.
He's got help from his teammate in front of him.
Brett Thurman in a second time as well. I wonder if this is another off-track penalty.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised. We'll have to see how long his stop is here.
It's going long, so I think it is indeed a penalty. Got a bit of a battle that just went by him. McLaughlin and Gore. McLaughlin in the number 5 with Gore in the number 7. There you see, that's Gore in the purple machine. Orange belonging to Owen.
Another team battle on track.
As they come up the hill, he's going to get the slipstream. And I don't think he's going to be quite close enough, but he's going to regain all this ground that he had lost. Look at the weaving there from Tyler Gore when he sees him start to approach, though.
Looks like it's all good fun back there between the two.
Absolutely. We're now down to 23 cars left running. Raymond Day is the last one. 21 are on the lead lap. Rod Clenard is the final car ahead of David Holland right now.
Good battle for 11th place here as well, Joe. Sheldon Rosenbaum trying to hold off Mark Ponick.
Right on board with Ponick now. See if he can do anything on Rosenbaum. Picking up speed. These cars do get going quite fast, 140 miles an hour, up to 150 now. Up to Blanchard. Remember, flat out through this corner. Let's see what they can hold it at. 152. Imagine that going through that turn. 55. And then they have to get on the binders. Ooh, very deep. Very, very deep for Ponick. Keeps it on the track, though.
I think Sheldon Rosenbaum is our hard charger of the day as well.
Seitz is in second. Seitz is by Hermer. I think this might have been coordinated.
I think it may have been Kemmel straight. And you're going to see Sam Hermer here pull to the right as it looks like he's going defensive, but he definitely does not put up a fight.
Yeah, I think once he had the nose ahead, there was either an agreement or he understood that there was really no reason to try and challenge Greg here.
You know, I wonder if they were waiting to pull away from David Serrois, so they had a little bit of a cushion.
Ah, that's a good point, because there's about 2 seconds back to Serrois. And we go back to this battle here on screen. Ponick and Rosenbaum. Mark's still trying. Rosenbaum's still defending.
A little bit of a slide from Rosenbaum there.
Watch out for those. Those opportunities are going to open the door for Ponick. I don't think he's going to sit around waiting for it to happen again.
I know you noted that Ponick took tires in his pit stop. Do you know if Rosenbaum did as well?
It does not appear to be so.
Yeah,
he had a short stop.
Wonder if Ponick's got a little bit of a grip advantage here.
Of those that pitted and there seems to be, or that took tires, and there seems to be very few. In fact, Ponick is the only one I see still running that seems to have taken tires.
Rosenbaum goes all the way off into the gravel. But he manages to hold the position.
We are at 2 laps to go now. Leader took the white flag, or not the white flag, the 2 to go just about 30 seconds ago here. Holland now up to a lead of about 8.1 seconds. This is a hard one to read as let's stay on this battle between these two. This has been pretty exciting between Ponick and Rosenbaum, but this race for Seitz has been hard to understand if he really did lack pace or if it was all intentional when he allowed his car to fall back in the field. Because now he's back up to second, and it all worked out in the end. But, I mean, that was a very risky strategy if that was all meant to be.
It looked like in those very first few 3 or 4 laps that he was trying to fight back after guys like Cuero and Serrois got around him. It didn't look to me like he was purposefully pulling back there. Maybe he lost the first spot on purpose, but after that, I don't think he expected to fall back. But either way, he's found himself back in second place again.
The peak there from Ponick. Just decides it's not worth it quite yet. Stays behind Rosenbaum. You're watching the fight for the top 10 here in round 6 of the PRL F3 series.
I think Ponick's trying to set himself up to be in second place on the white flag, and a big slide from Rosenbaum there. I think Ponick definitely has fresher tires to his advantage right now.
He appears that way. Right on board. We're going to get the white flag very soon here for David Holland. Very wide there as we rode on Ponick. Could this be drivers using those last few incident points to their advantage? There's our leader putting another lap on, it looks like David Hebert. So you were saying that you think Ponick wants to be the second car in line here. Do you think he's playing games?
Yeah, I think he wants to jump him on the Kemmel straight because I don't think Rosenbaum's going to have the grip to get back around him. I think Mark knows that, but he is gaining in significantly here. I wonder if he's going to try the lunge now. Might not have the choice.
Defending, Rosenbaum's going to try and make it difficult for him. He sends it in deep into the corner. Maybe an over-under attempt. Oh, and it's going to be a good one. A little bit of wheel spin, though, for Mark Ponnick. Could that deny him the chance that could have been so much easier? He's not as quick as he needs to be. Coming up to La Source, down into the corner. Another shot for that up and over maneuver. Doesn't quite work coming out of the hairpin.
He's going to have a big run, though, up through Eau Rouge. And if he doesn't get him there, he'll certainly get him on the Kemmel straight. The question is, though, where will Rosenbaum go? Certainly, you think he's going to go to the right to defend.
He's too close, though. He's not going to get enough of a run. Now that he's pulled out in the clear air, he doesn't have enough momentum. Mark Ponnick, again, on the wrong side of the track as Rosenbaum defends for that 10th position. He's good on the brakes, and he keeps it clean. They managed to stay away from one another through Lacombe and into Malmedy. Another crossover attempts, another little bit of wheel spin. Ponnick just too greedy with his right foot.
Ponnick's going to dive in underneath here, and he's not going to be able to hold on to it. Around goes the 34 of Mark Ponnick. Mitchell Green able to slip by as well.
It was a valiant effort. You give him credit for trying, but it's not meant to be. This guy who's been trying very hard, I don't know if you could accuse him of being a try-hard, but my goodness, what a season it's been. 5 out of 6. Another victory for David Holland here today at Belgium.
And teammates come across the line, 2-3, Greg Seitz and Sam Hermer. A good day in the points for them. Avoiding catastrophe, David Serrois and David McDonald.
Top 5 for McDonald will go with a 6. And then you get into the drivers that gained a lot of positions. Oh, and Kranefoos. Why is Kranefoos going to get a penalty? He's gonna get a penalty, I think, because he comes into pit lane on the last lap. He would have had a 7th place finish from 17th on the grid. Quinn, I assume, is going to be scored ahead of him as he finishes 8th. We'll get confirmation on that. Rosenbaum, who actually gets caught by Green at the very end, still comes home in 9th.
And Ponnick.
Ponnick in 12th, sadly. No battles from there on down, it seems, as everybody's very spread apart. Only 17 on the lead lap. We'll come back and try to confirm what happened to Kranefoos on that last lap. But in the meantime, stick around because we'll have all the upcoming races here on our screen, which will be followed by the driver interviews as well as the unofficial results. So don't go away. Welcome back to Spa. We just watched round 6 in the PRL Formula 3 series, and David Holland took yet another victory here. This one with authority, 9 seconds over Greg Seitz, who finished in second. Sam Hermer, his teammate, gathering a lot of points, though, for those two, and finishing in third. So Sirwa, who potentially had a second place at one point, unfortunately succumbed to those two teammates who may have been working together, and to great effect, Sirwa still getting a nice fourth on the cards. David McDonald finishing P5. Olivier Legault was sixth today. Matt Quinn got scored in seventh with starting 19th, so nice jump up. Prue from 18th to 8th, and Rosenbaum 22nd to 9th. Then you got Mitchell Green in 10th, and Mark Ponick starts the next slide.
Indeed, Mark Ponick with that last lap spin. He will be finishing 11th place today. Tyler Gore and Owen McLaughlin, teammates who came battling to the line, 12th and 13th. Brett Thurman in 14th, and Daniel Cranefus, who was 7th on the last lap, but had a penalty that'll drop him double that down to 15th. Stephen Verity, Daniel Barnett, and Wayne Pavlich down as 16th, 17th, and 18th. Those are the last drivers on the lead lap. Behind them, Lorenz Sebastian and Raymond Day round out your top 20.
From there on down, it's cars a lap down or more, many of them DNF'd, unfortunately, today. David Holland, the winner, though, is with us. And David, you didn't get the pole, so obviously you missed on that bonus point. But we had some theories floating around that you weren't too concerned about pole here because of the slipstream. But there's one tinfoil hat kind of popping up that says that maybe you wanted to start in second because of that opening slipstream. Was that the case?
Not really. No, I mean, truth be told, we were giving it all we had in qualifying. Rod and I were setting each other up for the draft as best we could. So yeah, we were definitely sweating hard during qualifying. But yeah, I mean, you're right though. It really doesn't make that big of a difference here. But that extra point is definitely worth fighting for.
Yeah, and especially considering points, it's not just the Drivers' Championship, which you're going to extend that lead on, but you're fighting for that team's championship, and it looks like your team is not quite faring as well as Greg Seitz's team, who I believe after this maybe or already is leading you in the team's championship. Do you find that frustrating that you're not able to tick that box as well?
I don't really know so much that it's frustrating. We've shown good speed as a team, just, racing's racing. Had a bit of bad luck here and there. I know tonight, I'm not sure exactly what happened, but Rod and Mauricio, I think, were white knuckling it some, and trouble happened again. But, we still got 4 races left, and I think we can still give them a run for their money.
Well, it's been a phenomenal season. Before we let you go, is there anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, of course. Got to thank the team, Vantage Esports, as always. And then you guys at GSRC for the fantastic broadcasts, the league, PRL, and sponsors, Butt Kicker and Ninja Trader. Thanks, guys.
It was David Holland, your winner here today. Up next, Nick has caught up with Greg Seitz, who took another second place today.
I have indeed. Hello, Greg, and I know you're probably tired of that second place finishing position, and you're probably tired of the next question. But that was a very interesting race that found you winding up in second place. You fell back significantly at the start, but then found your way back on top.
Yeah, it was. I struggled a little bit in the first half, and then seemed to find my pace in the second half. David was just too fast for me. I'm really actually happy with second because this isn't the best of tracks for me. So yeah, I'm pretty happy that I managed to pull out a second in the end after all that.
Another storyline we were following throughout the race was the team's standings. Only 4 points separate you and David's team, but you are on top of that point standings. And it looked like this might have been a disastrous race for your team. It turned out to be probably one of your best of the season.
Yeah, I think we caught some breaks. I mean, it was bad luck for Rod and Quiro, but yeah, we'll take it. So it ended up rather nice for us to end up with second and third again.
Awesome. Well, hopefully we will be able to see you get on that top spot of the podium at least one more time this year. It'd be very fun to see. But congratulations again on your great race tonight. Before we let you go, anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, as usual, you guys for putting on a great broadcast, and my teammate Sam in particular, and my whole team. We worked really well together and helped me in qualifying too. So great job for Rust Racing today.
Awesome. Good to have you in the booth.
Finally, in third place, we've got Sam Hermer talking to us, teammate to Greg Seitz. And Sam, congratulations on a podium. But I look and see that your club is the UK&I club. Are you burning the midnight oil over there?
Yes, just slightly. It's 16 minutes past 3 in the morning. Ooh. So yeah, slightly tired. I've been drinking lots of coffee and eating chocolate. I mean, what else can you do?
I think that sounds like a good evening to me. Now, we were talking to your teammate about the team's championship here. Do you have a sense of pride knowing that you guys are taking it to the Vantage Zero guys so well?
Hell yeah, we're like kicking their butts. It's great, fantastic. That's the thing that gets me up at 3 in the morning, thinking about kicking them. No, I'm just joking. It was a really good race. I really enjoyed that race. It was great. The people, I'm not sure what happened to our opposition. They just sort of fell apart in front of us. It was interesting to watch. I think some of them didn't take tyres, and it was a really bad decision.
So interesting. It seemed to pay off well for you. Speaking of tires, because we noted during today's race that there was a lot of very sustained fast corners. We're going to get that next week as well at Phillip Island. Do you look at that and are the tires kind of already coming into your mind there as well?
I mean, it's always something you have to be aware of, don't you? As a team, we sit there and we look at some of the charts and we work out which corners you're not really supposed to be like pushing too hard in. And it's with the extreme setups that the cars have nowadays here, you have to be really careful with the tires. But I had one of those setups today which starts off really understeery and then just sort of slowly gets better and better as the stint goes on. So I think our setup was fantastic, and thanks to Greg for that. And obviously, thanks to you guys for putting so much energy and enthusiasm into this.
Well, thank you very much for the great show. And again, best of luck in a week's time.
Cheers.
Sam Hermer, third place, and on the Rust Racing Iron team. Now, we're going to close up as well with some thank yous. First off, starting with our sponsors, both Ninja Trader, who you can find at ninjatrader.com, and also to Butt Kicker, who can be found at thebuttkicker.com. Big thanks to iRacing for putting us on IESN, and make sure and subscribe to the channel just there below in the big red button. Thanks to companies that provide the software and the hardware for our broadcasts. They're listed here on your screen. Additional thanks go to June Lalonde, who provides our wonderful music. See the screen for how to get a hold of more of her great work. Thanks to the team today, Nick, Sean, and Doug. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, including upcoming races, you can find it at globalsimracingchannel.com. You can also check out our social media, with Twitter being at GSR Channel, Facebook, Global Sim Racing Channel, and Instagram at GSRC_Graham. As we mentioned, the next race is heading down to Australia for Phillip Island. That'll be April 30th, a week from now. At the same time, we have upcoming races for other series listed on the screen, so check those out and mark them down on your calendar. Tune in a few moments for the Throwback IndyCar series. Awesome action at Iowa. But until next time, race clean, race hard. See you on the track.